Hi guys, I'm XO. Feel free to call me Alexis because we are about to get intimate with this story. I know you read the title at the bottom and it said I am a adult and I can't read, and a lot of you guys make can relate to that. So I'm making this video for three reasons. To encourage you to definitely glorify God and to also free myself. When you have a learning disability, or some call it a learning delayed, um, it can be a stigma on your life. It could feel like this deep, dark secret that you keep trying to hide from people. Um, for example, you know, when I was growing up, it felt like I was nobody and I was nothing because I had this disability because I couldn't learn on the same level as everybody else. I remember when I was taken from regular ed and put into special ed, and it was one of those days that was like, dang, um, something's wrong with me, you know. And that turned into a shame, and it turned into a deep depression at a young age. And it wasn't because I didn't want to learn, and it wasn't because I didn't have the passion or desire or the fight to learn, because I was trying. My brain was just totally different than other people. So growing up, that trickled into other areas of my life, like my relationship with my parents, because I didn't know why I was different than my siblings. I didn't know why they could read and they were, in a sense, normal, and I was different. So I looked at them like, what did you do? What did I do? And then I looked at myself like, what did I do wrong? Um, um, was it was it something was it something God knew I would do and that's what I was being punished for? Or um, I just didn't understand. And this built a wall inside myself, um, against everything and everyone else. So I had a hard time relating to my parents. My parents had a hard time relating to me and helping me with homework, and I was frustrated and they were frustrated. And I remember crying myself to sleep a lot. And praying that God would take me home. I was praying that God would take me home to heaven with him, because I felt like I didn't have a future. You go to school every day, and people laugh at you. Teachers talk about you. Um, you get called these bad things every day. And you start to think those same things about yourself. So not only do you have enemies outside, you now have this enemy inside who tells you you're nothing. You're nobody. At that time of elementary school, because I actually got put into special ed around first or second grade, um, I had found out I had scoliosis, and it was such an advanced case that they didn't really want to wait to give me surgery for it. They wanted it to be as soon as possible. So at 12, I had surgery on my spine,
I had to learn to walk and um, eat and use the bathroom, all that stuff all over again. I had a walker. And before the surgery, I had a back brace. So not only are you in special ed, you're a little black girl with nappy hair, right? I had a lazy eye, right? I had a lazy eye, a back brace, special ed, black girl, and this learning disability. And it was a dark time, and I remember the one thing that really helped me, because I remember telling guys, I told you that I was asking God to take me home, but I wasn't really a Christian at that time. I just knew that there was a God, and wherever He was a better place, right? So when I turned 8, I became a Christian, and I started, I couldn't really read the Bible, but I would go to like Sunday schools, and they would read the Bible and tell me little things. And I remember a scripture that really stuck out to me is, and I won't pretend that I know where these things are in the Bible, even though I am a Christian and I do read the Bible. I'm not perfect. So I don't know exactly where the scripture is, but it just says that the Lord will restore the years the cankerworm have eaten. And a cankerworm, when it hatches, it devours the plant that it's hatched on. It devours the leaf and eats up everything. And He will turn back the hands of time and all of this and all of that. And that another one was, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And another one is, I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and give you a future in Christ Jesus. And those things really, really set in my heart, because it was so different from the things that I was hearing. I was hearing that I was nobody. I was hearing that I was ugly. I was hearing that I was deformed. And I was hearing that um, I couldn't be what I wanted to be, and I had no future. So my heart clung onto the words of God, because those were the positive words that I knew had to be true, because if He lives, then so does His word. So this was at 8, and I went on and I went on to middle school, and I got to high school. And in high school, I sat down with my counselor, and I was in ninth grade at this time. And I think when they tested me, I was on like a sixth grade reading level in the ninth grade. And yeah, she said, you can graduate in 12th grade, but you'll have a certificate, not a diploma. And the thing about working is you cannot really get a job with a certificate. I didn't want to be labeled by what people felt I could do. I didn't want to be labeled and defined by that. I knew God had something more for me, because He told me this. So I told her in ninth grade, I said, I don't want a high school certificate. I want a diploma. I'm dropping my special ed classes. And I dropped them all. And I worked my butt off. Oh my gosh, y'all. I worked my butt off, and I passed one class. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can do this. I can do this. If I just work hard, I work hard. I can do this. I can pass. I can pass. So I passed more classes. And then I moved on to the 10th grade. And then I moved on to the 11th grade. And when I got into 12th grade, and it was my senior year, they had, your valedictorian and all of that, but then they had the top 10 students. So they called them on the intercom and was like, we'll calling out our top 10 students of a senior class. Will you report to the auditorium? So, they called my name, and me and those other um, students had some of the highest GPAs in the school. And I get there, and I'm like, wow, look what God has done, you know. But that year, I had a geometry teacher, and my geometry teacher wasn't a very good teacher. When you got to her class, all she did was hand you this paper, and you supposed to fill it out. And she sat at her desk and ate and did what she wanted to do. She didn't teach. So, I asked for help, and she had this like attitude. I should have shared it with my mom, but at the time I was a teenager, and not only was I, working hard in school, I was a teenager and I was going through teenage stuff, and I was rebellious. And yeah, so I was skipping class. I was like, if she's not gonna teach me, I'm not gonna learn. I'm gone, and I failed her class. So that year, I didn't even get to graduate with my class. I had to go to summer school. Actually, I went to summer school, and I believe I got like a B plus or A. Um, in the course in geometry, and I graduated in summer school. But that just tells you you're gonna have fallbacks. You're gonna have people who don't believe in you. You're gonna have people who don't do right by you. You're gonna have people who neglect you. But you can't give up there. You got to continue to move forward. Yeah, spent my summer in summer school, and I graduated with a really good GPA. Went on to though I had this great GPA, I wanted to go to all these schools, right? But you have to take the SAT and you have to take the ACT. And I am not good at taking tests. It just adds on the pressure, and it provides this life to that darkness that was still inside me. Even though I was pushing forward, that thing that told me I couldn't be anything, those words that were spoken over me and that negativity, I still had that growing into who I was becoming. And it didn't go anywhere, even though I was pushing forward and I was doing my best. Taking tests built on that insecurity. And I didn't do very well. I didn't do very well on the test. So I went to my local community college, and I had to take two, I don't think they call it remedial classes. I think they call it like, uh, I don't know what they call it. It's like before you take this course in like reading and math, and you pass that, and then you go on to take your college maths and your college literacy classes and stuff like that. So I had to take it in reading and in math, right? And um, I didn't. I loved the English class. I loved the writing. Yeah, it was English class. I loved the English class. My teacher was amazing. She nurtured the creativity inside of us and helped pull it out. And that was the second time, and I'll get into where I am now, but that was the second time I really enjoyed writing. Um, the first time was in high school when I took English there, and that's when I started to do poetry, and I was featured in this book. But that was great for a person who can't read or spell. Um, so I did that in high school, went to this college and was taking this English course, and I did well in her class. But the rest of my classes, I think I was taking four at that time. The rest of my classes, that darkness inside started to build up. You can't do this. You can't do this. So I failed those classes. I dropped out of school. I got a job at that time with the Smithsonian as a gallery attendant. I love history, and I was for 2 years telling people about the accomplishments of others in this museum. And you know, I would stand there, and I had a little notepad, and I would do my best at spelling, and I would write. I was still writing. I was writing stories and I was writing poems and I was writing anything that came to my mind to keep myself, to feed that creativity that is inside of me. And after 2 years, I looked at myself and I said, is this all you want? Is this all you want out of life? Um, yeah, you're making decent money. You can live off this money, but is this enough? And it wasn't. It wasn't enough for me. So I went back to school in 2010. Um, and let me tell you, there is no special ed in college. You got to perform on the same level as everybody else. There are things to help you, like extra testing time, which I took advantage of. You can get a tutor. Um, but other than that, um, I don't even think you can use a calculator. So, other than that, you really have to be focused and driven and know your goal. So, I went to school from 2010, and in 2014, I graduated. I graduated. Not only did I graduated at like a 3.8. Um, and my family was very supportive. Me and my mom was in school at the same time, and the way that she kind of kept me motivated and encouraged me was that we battled for the highest GPA every semester. Sometimes I won, sometimes she won, but yeah, we kept each other motivated by competing, and it was fun, and it was a fun competition. And I remember when it came to my last semester, I wanted to quit. Oh my gosh, that little dark place I was telling y'all about was huge. Now it was like if I'm 100% person, that thing was up here. I was like 90. It was like 90%, and I was like, I can't do this. I want to quit. But I will tell you this, every time you get close to accomplishing your goal, you're going to want to quit. You're going to want to be done with it. And that's how you know. That's how you know you're about to make it. So that feeling, that competition within yourself, that build up of anxiety and pressure, use it, use it. Know that you are almost there to finishing. And I was on the train going to the place where we were having our graduation, and I sat back and I realized I rode the same train to school every day. In the hard times, in the dark times, I cried on this train. I've prayed, I begged on this train, and now I'm taking this train to the finish line. I'm taking this train to my graduation. And it was a moment me and God had together that allowed me to look back on all those things and all those hard times and all those people who said I wouldn't be anything, and to flesh all of that out and see that through God, I can do all things, and His promises, He keeps every last one of them. The story gets better. Okay, so I'm headed to my graduation, and it's time for us to walk across the stage. Well, I noticed one of my first grade, second grade teachers were there. This was one of the ladies who spoke against me as a child, who laughed about me, who talked to the other teachers about me. You know how they are. And yeah, um, she was on stage, and she had to shake my hand as I got my diploma. Oh, sorry, my degree. Um, my degree. And it was an amazing feeling because God will not let you be in shame. He will not allow people to belittle you. It may take time, and you may have to work, and you may have to struggle. But in that moment, I felt him saying, I am her God. I say what she can be. I can say what she can do, not you. And I graciously shook her hand and I took my diploma, my degree, and I crossed that stage into the next stage of my life. And it was amazing. It was amazing. It was something I didn't think I could do. It was something that gave me so much anxiety and worry. I mean, I was the girl who hated going out to eat with people I didn't know because what if I couldn't read what was on the menu, and I really wanted this thing, but I didn't know what it said, so I would just point at it. I was that girl. I do want to share this. That 2 years I took off from college, before I went back, I cried. I cried. I cried so deep. It was one of the ugly cries. Those cries you got snot everywhere. And it was a silent cry too because I lived at home with my family and I didn't want them to know I was crying. But I was crying to God. I asked him, why you make me so stupid? What did I do? I really opened up and I really asked him, what's going on? Why would you create me in the first place? And after letting that out, that's when I had the strength to try again. And he kept every word. So you might ask yourself, well, where are you today? Because your title. So today, I still struggle. I still have a learning disability. It just doesn't go away because you become adult. I still have it. And I struggle with it every day. But that doesn't mean you cannot do or be anything you want to be. I got my degree in mass communications. And though I was looking for jobs towards that, I never really could find one. I even moved to a different state where I am now. And I couldn't really find that opportunity. But God has a way of making everything into a full circle. So I didn't quite get into the career I wanted to or what I went to school for. I actually got into teaching. So I actually teach special ed education. I have taught from kindergarten to third grade, as well as adults. I taught in a school for students with learning disabilities, as well as mental disabilities. So the girl who couldn't read, the girl who still has these learning delayed going on in her, is teaching special ed. Yes, I am teaching special ed. I'm teaching kids how to read. I am sharing my testimony with them every day. And maybe not just the way I'm saying it to you, but I share with them that I couldn't do it at one point. Not even at one point, still I struggle. And I've noticed being able to relate to them in that way has increased their self-esteem. I have a baby who
your Google Home isn't set up yet.
Who
to get started, download the Google
hated
Home app
reading.
on your tablet.
Who hated reading, right? And I shared my story, a part of my story with him, and each day he saw me, he realized that he could do it as well, and he moved on to the next grade, and now he is writing stories and he's doing great things, and he's still trying. So that's what God has taken me to, teaching. And at first I didn't understand. I was like, well, I can't do what I went to school for. But God uses you where he needs you to be. And not to say that I won't, because that's my desire. I desire to make Christian films and own my own production studio one day. And I will. But right now, I'm like David, and I'm tending to the sheep, and that's okay. You know, it's crazy because even now I have 2 opportunities to receive my master's free. 2, not one, not from one organization, but from 2 organizations to receive my master's free. This will be the 2nd degree I've received free off scholarship. You can do all things. Not only am I a teacher, I am also a writer. When I was in high school, I told you that I was featured in a poetry book. That sparked my love of writing, and I have been writing ever since. So I had started collecting a lot of poetry, and it was basically around what I'm telling you today, my testimony. And I met Kimberly K. Parker at church. Beautiful lady. If you're looking to publish your own book, you can find her at Kimberly K. Parker International Publishing. I believe that's what it is. Or writingmama.com. And she read some of my poetry, and she really believed in me. And she said, I will publish your book totally free. And that was amazing to me, because people say they believe in you, but they don't back it up. And she really believed in me. And what came out of it is this book here. It's called Secret Closet. And if you want to learn a little bit more about me and my testimony, you can check this out. It's on Amazon. It's an ebook available on Amazon, and it looks just like this. And it says by XO, or and on the back it has by XO and then my actual name. Yeah. So this was a hard video to do, because when Fantasia told people she couldn't read, y'all tore her up. Y'all tore her up. Gosh. People laughed at her, made memes. Disrespected this lady. You are not in control of who you are. You did not create yourself. There is no reason to feel ashamed of who you are. Be the best person you can be. And going through all of that developed in me a inner strength. A lot of people rely on their beauty or their masculinity or their money. But it built in me character, how to be a good person, how to treat somebody. Because of what I've been through, I know not to treat people with disdain and contempt and disrespect. What you go through builds who you are. And it's okay that you have a learning disability. And it's okay you're learning delayed. And it's okay you have scoliosis. And it's okay you have a lazy eye. And it's okay you have nappy hair. And it's okay you live in a hood where nobody wants anything for their life. And they don't want to go anywhere. And they don't want to do anything. I've been there. It's okay to be surrounded by dysfunction, because you have an inner power, an inner strength that is inside of you. And you may say, I don't believe in God. Let me tell you something. You tried everything else. You tried probably drugs. You tried alcohol. You tried women. You tried men. You tried depression. You tried suicide. And these are some of the things I've struggled with. Suicide is just, it seems like an easy way out. But we are meant to do something great here. We were all called for a purpose. And if you're struggling with thoughts of suicide, don't do it. Life gets better. Turn the page, baby. There's more to come. It's more to come. Fight. It's yours. It's yours if you want it. Fight. Also, I am releasing my second book at the end of the year. It's actually a Christian fiction novel. It's called The Last Book Agreement, and I have written other stories as well that have not been published yet. So this will be the second one. It does not have anything to do with my poetry book, but it was a great challenge for me. I love challenging myself because there's more to me than what I've accomplished, and there's more to you than what you've accomplished. You can do so much more. Challenge yourself. Wherever you want to be, you can do. Thank you for listening. I think this is about 30 minutes. Who would have thought that a special ed girl would graduate at the top of her class in high school, graduate at a 3.8 GPA in college, become a teacher, write a book, write several Christian fiction novels, and still be planning to do more. One day you'll be watching my movies. One day you'll be seeing me on your screen. One day everything God has planned for me will be accomplished. I will not die without completing everything God has for me. And I pray that same thing for you. That you will not give up, you will not give in, that you will strive. If you like this video and you want to see more, because I don't know if anybody's going to watch this, but subscribe, leave a comment. We can talk about other things like how to find your purpose, because I didn't always want to be a writer. Like, if you can't read or spell, why would you want to be a writer, right? Well, I didn't want to be a writer. How did I get into writing? And how did I know I wanted to be a writer as far as my career? So I can get into finding your purpose. And if you have any questions, leave them below. Please subscribe, and God bless you.